Alright guys, and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, and we are about to pretty much go through Kudo's second testimony here, and then after that we gotta cross-examine him, of course, so without further ado, let's go. I can't remember a single occasion when I forgot what burger a customer wanted. You can't remember? Probably more like he messed up so many times he's blocking it out because he's a scrub. Very well. Let's test just how good your memory and attention to detail is, Mr. Kudo. Tell us what you remembered about the victim. About the victim. He was another one of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling its pages. The young man was listening to the wireless. I remember that well, because I'm a noob. Then the serving girl in question brought over the coffee. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and then took a sip, and poured out a sip for his homies. The testimony we have just heard was to test how credible the witness's memory is. It seems to me that he remembers the victim in a great deal of detail. Oh yes, I hate those you-know-what types who are so vague about everything. How are we gonna handle this, Nick? We only need to do one thing. We just need to prove that the old man's memory is shot. Just trip him up, you mean? Isn't that kind of cruel? I suppose, but it's what I do best. About the victim. About the victim. He was another one of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. Alright. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling his pages. His right hand, huh? We gotta look at details like that. Specific details that state which hand or whatever he held it in. The newspaper was a sports paper, was it? That young hooligan? I nearly asked him, can't you even read without fidgeting? How was I supposed to be able to read the back page with all that rustling? I needed to find out if Gutzen Braun retained his championship title. It was his paper, not yours. If you wanted to know so bad, why didn't you buy your own? What are you looking at me like that for? How dare you judge me? Oh, still doing them, see? Gutzen Braun got beaten yesterday, by the way. I'm just saying, bro. The young man was listening to the wireless, I remember that. Hold it. The wireless? The decadent young rascals. In my day, it was one or the other. Read the paper or listen to the wireless. But didn't he not have radio back in the day? You know it, whatever. And using an earpiece is selfish. That's what it is. I was straining my ears, but I couldn't catch any of it. Was he that desperate to listen to the radio? What are you looking at me like that for, huh? How dare you? Take these seats. Oh, come on, man. And then the serving girl in question brought over the Java Kino. Hold it! You mean the waitress who you only saw from behind, right? You're one of those, aren't you? You never let anything go, isn't that right? Maybe. What does it matter if I saw it from the front or behind? My eyes don't lie! Hey, dig it! Oh! I better not push it until I got some hard evidence. The little fidget picked up the cup with his free hand and took a sip. Picked up with his free hand. See, he didn't specifically say if it was his right or left hand. Because, let's press him on this. For his free hand? Yes. Which hand was that? Weren't you listening before, cloth ears? I said he was rustling the newspaper with his right hand, didn't I? If he even ran with it right, and then when you went to, you moron! Oh! Ha! Perhaps the great Mr. Trait has 3 hands. Maybe I do, fool. Maybe I do. Eesh, I was only asking. No need to gang up on me like that and treat me like a freak. The whole point of this cross-examination is to establish just one thing. That this old guy's memory has more holes than a slice of Swiss. I guess we just need to find a contradiction in his testimony somewhere, huh? Anything will do, even the smallest detail. We just need one mistake and he's ours. One mistake, huh? He was another one of those pesky young types wearing a broken pair of spectacles. He had a newspaper in his right hand, and the noisy brat kept rustling his pages, yup. The thing that I was trying to say before was the last part right here. The fidget picked up the cup with his free hand. He didn't specifically say which hand it was. So that's a clue right there, because before he said, oh, it was his right hand. But in this part of the testimony, he just says free hand. He wasn't that specific with it. And earlier in his testimony, he said it was his right hand. So if we gotta try to trip him up here. We gotta try to see if it really was his right hand. So I don't know how to prove that. I don't know how the hell we would prove, or how we would actually, you know, trip him up here. If he had his newspaper in his right hand. An article from December 5th says, I was trounced and my client was found guilty. Yada. Sports paper left by the victim. Doodle is in the victim's handwriting. Touch the check button for details. MC Bomber. I mean, if he was writing that there, if he was there writing that, wouldn't that be his left hand writing that on the paper? Yeah, fuck it. I'm reaching. I'm literally reaching right now. Job listings. Lunch special. Tray being a lunch special. Costs $20 despite how unbelievably bad it tastes. Nah. Scooter, written by my phony. The wheel guard is all smashed up. Glenn's autopsy. Died of potassium cyanide poisoning. Time of death was between 1:30 and 2:30. Trabian floor plans. Oh, let's check this out. Was he sitting across from him? The little fidget picked up the copy with his free hand and took a sip. Where was he sitting? Where was Kudo sitting? I guess like adjacent from him? Crime photo. A photo of the scene taken from near the kitchen. Da-da-da. Whoa, look at that. I think we're supposed to... Yo, look at that. Doesn't it look like the coffee spilled from the right hand and not the left? Look at that. Look at that. It looks like in this picture, the coffee cup is spilled from his right hand, because, I don't know. It looks like it was knocked over from the right. Because if it was knocked over from the left, wouldn't the coffee be by his left hand? Looks like the coffee cup was right next to his right hand. Let's try to show this crime photo. Nope. Oh, come on, man. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. Huh? Really? Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright. But I was thinking! Whoops. That didn't go so well. I swear to goodness that looked like it was it, though. Maybe I present something else that proves it? Because it looked like it was knocked over by his right hand. Coffee cup. The coffee contained potassium cyanide, covered in the victim and Maggie's fingerprints. It's like a little... It's got like a little bit of coffee on there. Look at that. It's like a little bit of coffee on the cup that shows off. It's got a right handle on it. Oh, it's got a plate under it. I don't understand, dude. The coffee contained potassium cyanide. Oh wait, it's got a right handle! It's got a right handle on the cup! It's got a right handle on the cup. It's got a right handle on the cup, so if it has a right handle on it, he must have picked it up with his right hand. And on top of that, there's a stain! There's a coffee stain on there right there. There's a coffee stain in the middle. If he picked it up on the left, it would be on the other side. If he picked up the coffee cup from the left with his left hand, the coffee stain would be on the opposite side, right? I'm not sure if that's it though. Maybe I'm just reaching again. I'm not sure if it's it. It sounds logical, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, dude. I'm not exactly sure. You know, let's do it. Oh, let's go! I was literally just reaching, dude. Mr. Kudo, do you remember what you were told at the start of this testimony? That this was a way of testing the credibility of your memory. I know. There's nothing wrong with my memory, I tell you, nothing. If I got anything wrong, I'll eat those seeds and sing the pigeon song. Care to tell us where this is going, Trite? According to Mr. Kudo, the victim was holding the paper in his right hand, while drinking coffee with his free hand, which would make that his left. Ha! What is this, kindergarten? But I would like the court to please take a look at this. That's the cup the victim used, correct? Yes, and on the rim, you'll notice the mark left by the victim's lip. Yep, and there's a stain left by the coffee. If you consider where the stain is, you'll clearly see that the victim was holding the cup in his right hand. But how? Well, Mr. Kudo, the court is waiting for your epic performance. You said you eat those seeds and sing those pigeon songs. Arrgh! Oh my god, he got him! Mr. Kudo, I'm afraid this is simply not acceptable. I think the witness had better go back to the park where he came from. Wait! Are you serious right now? If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to you tell me I'm mad, you're wrong. I don't care about that dirty coffee cup. I know what I saw. You still insist on your testimony. That young brat was holding a cup in his left hand. Oh yes, no question. I'm good, law-abiding citizen. What the hell? Thank you, old man. We've heard quite enough from you already. Don't call me old man, old man. Been around for 68 years I have. You can't ignore me. Listen to what I've gotta say. Shut your old ass up. I'm sorry, Mr. Kudo, but sure, why not hear a little more? Mr. Kudo? But this is my 16th cup of coffee, so this is your final stand. Thank you, Captain. You can rely on Victor. Left hand or right hand? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup. His left hand. Okay. We know the victim was wearing an unusual monocle over his left eye. It wasn't a monocle, Your Honor. It was a scouter. It was a small computer monitor often used by programmers. A monitor? You mean like a television screen? The inside of the lens is a screen that displays computer data. It's called an HMD. It's a common tool in the victim's line of work. HD, TV, DVD, CD, all these newfangled letters drive me mad, but they don't matter. Because I know what I saw and I'm telling the truth. It's true. He doesn't seem to be lying. And those are the facts. It's in good old black and white. What about purple and green, bro? Left hand or right hand? Bam, bam. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. Let's take a look at Glenn. Bum. The left. Dun, dun, dun. He kept fiddling with it all the time. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup too. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. Bam, bam, boo, boo. He kept fiddling with it all the time. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the... Are you sure? Hold on, let me take a look at that picture. Bum. He said the earpiece was in the same side of the damn... Was the programmer wore an HMD over left eye, left eardrum was ruptured.
If his left eardrum was ruptured, then I have to assume he couldn't hear from his left eardrum. So, most likely, he had the piece in his right ear, but let's continue here. If what I said was true before, I don't have a clue where in the hell I would want to present the profile or what evidence I should present. Because I know for a fact what I just said has to be true. His left eardrum was ruptured, so he had to have it in his right ear. He had to. But I'm not sure if it's the profile I show. Maybe I show the prescription bag.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. The victim got this from the doctor before going to trade bien. The bag is empty. He was fiddling with it just before he picked up the cup. Maybe he was putting his damn I'm gonna press him. The earpiece you mentioned, which hand did the victim touch it with? You're one of those people. One of those people who uses his left hand to get things out of his right pocket. Or fastens his left cuff with his right hand. And then when the tour guide says on your right side, you'll see the famous blah blah. You're the only one who deliberately looks left, well, aren't you? No, I didn't mean. Obviously, he used to handle the same side of his body that the earpiece was in. Ow! Come on, bro! So if he had the HMD on his left side, then I guess it was his left hand. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup on his left hand. His left. They talking about his left side. He was fiddling with it. He kept fiddling with it. The boy was wearing the same earpiece. Dude, I don't see anything in our repertoire that would actually be used here. He was wearing an earpiece on the same side. You know what? Right here, I'm gonna present his profile. I'm not sure what the relevance of this is, but Mr. Kudo, there is something very strange about your observations of the victim. What? You said he was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the HMD. You can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. I could only see the side of his head from where I was sitting. I don't think so. What did you say? You're no doubt unaware of this fact, Mr. Kudo, but the victim couldn't hear with his left ear. His eardrum was ruptured. Huh? The traces of medication for his condition was found in his ear canal. That's right, it's impossible if that victim was wearing his earpiece on his left ear, because he couldn't even hear it in that ear. Is that true, Captain? It is. Pigeon! Pretty pigeon! Oh my god, he's singing! He's singing and eating those seeds! Order in the court! This witness's testimony is completely unreliable. He only saw the waitress from behind. Well, Mr. Godot? A single drop of milk is all it takes to destroy the pure black magic in the cup. This old man is my drop of milk. Captain, are you calling me a drip? Gavel! This is the victim's coffee cup in which the potassium cyanide was found. The mark on the rim clearly shows that the victim picked it up with his right hand. I'll never back down, I know I'm right. The lad drank his Javakino with his left hand. Let me put you out of your misery. Clearly, the victim used both hands. He took a sip with the cup held in his right and then switched to his left. That's what the old man saw. I'm just gonna take a minute here to save my game, guys. Just in case something bad happens.